Philadelphia is a great city. People don't realize what a wonderful city this is. Likewise, JEVS is a phenomenally successful, thriving agency.
JEVS began in 1941. Its original mission was to help Jewish refugees coming here to start anew. We started programs to help them engage in society in Philadelphia, mainly employment services and language skills training.
JEVS, I believe, that gave us first very good shot to learn English.
We didn't speak any English when we came over, none of us.
So
it was very, very hard.
Yeah, so it was very important.
To start a new life.
Yes.
It was an incredibly progressive organization. We have board meeting minutes from the late 40s that illustrate JEVS' commitment to the community as a whole and not just the Jewish community.
Well, it was smaller, much smaller, because we were only had a budget of $300,000. But in a very short time, there was a big change. And there was a reform in Philadelphia, the reform movement, and that included everybody.
In the 60s, JEVS stepped in to provide counseling to federal parolees convicted of drug-related crimes with its program, ACT.
When one visited ACT, it looked like a cross-section of Philadelphia. And in fact, you saw people that looked pretty middle class to you. And you were surprised that you would see people that looked like government workers, teachers, whatever, healthcare workers, sitting in a clinic for that kind of drug treatment. And JEVS, again and again, and I would say without judgment, stepped up to meet those needs.
In the 70s, JEVS began securing state licensing and national accreditation for its vocational training programs, later to become Orleans Technical Institute.
The population that is served is reflective of the population of the Philadelphia area. There are people in their late teens there. There are people in their 60s there. There are men, there are women, there are whites, Hispanics, African Americans, people who have never had jobs, people who've had jobs but lost them, people who've had drug problems or prison problems in their pasts. Just people who are looking to get a new start in life in an area where they can build and be self-sufficient.
It's a great school, great teachers. You're definitely gonna get the right education you need. They're gonna get you a job, and it's the best thing to do to start you off in the industry.
In the 80s, JEVS provided community-based residential services for former Pennhurst residents, adults with intellectual disabilities.
That was a function of a judicial ruling that said you can't warehouse people in these institutions and not give them individualized assessment, individualized treatment to try to maximize their success as human beings. So JEVS' involvement with that program was very tied to a public policy of deinstitutionalizing individuals.
In 1984, new opportunities for adults with physical disabilities were created to receive supports in their homes. Today, thousands of individuals rely on our Supports for Independence program in order to remain safe and at home.
People who have members of their families with disabilities, it's not only very stressful, but it's probably beyond the family's capabilities economically. This enables a lot of people who otherwise would not be able to stay at home to be able to stay at home.
Without the supports from JEVS, there's no way that I could afford the help that I require to get up and go to work. We wouldn't be sitting here if it wasn't for JEVS, that's for sure.
By the early 90s, JEVS was providing a number of services for individuals with a range of disabilities. We coordinated services within one program area, community living and home supports.
The group homes have anywhere from one to 3 or 4 people living in a group home environment, and these are severely handicapped individuals who would have otherwise been in institutions.
Eugenio's diagnosis is chronic undifferentiated schizophrenia. It's Eugenio's home. Our residents are free to partake in any activity in the house, to go in the refrigerator, pick anything they like to eat. It's their home.
By the mid-90s, JEVS was at the forefront of welfare reform, starting with a rapid attachment to work program and as an operator of Greater Philadelphia Works. These programs led to the creation of the Maximizing Participation Project and the EARN program. What we discovered early on in welfare reform back in the 90s, that there were individuals who were displaying other issues. They have complicated lives. Some of them have medical issues, family issues, legal issues, housing issues. And in order for somebody to be successful long-term on a job, you have to really get them to a place where they can succeed.
Me being a single parent, having to raise 2 children, I turned to selling drugs because that was the only way I knew how to survive. JEVS MPP has had a great impact on my life because it made me realize that there are some people out there who still really do care, and that they care what happens to you and they care what direction you're taking.
In 2006, we changed our name to JEVS Human Services to better reflect the agency's broad and diverse range of services.
From that, we developed a wonderful tagline, Making Hope Happen. When I looked at it, I thought each word has such meaning. It really helps us to think about who we are internally as employees, as volunteers, and hopefully externally, so people really can understand who we are very quickly.
This recession is unlike any other recession we've been through. It has truly affected every strata of society. JEVS Human Services is committed to serving not only the middle-class Jewish community, but the larger community who have found themselves in dire shape.
I got a degree in finance a while back, and then I got a master's degree in health administration. That's pretty much the field I worked in for 25 years. 2009, I was laid off. They were cutting back. So I was out of work for the first time in my life. I had never been out of work. JEVS gave me other avenues to pursue, to look at. So it was just not finding a job with them. It was more about finding yourself, finding a little bit about yourself, and you know, it was just a good experience. They were just really, really kind and caring people.
Gee, to really project where we're going is like to project where the needs are, where the country's going, where our community's going.
They're doing a good job in a tough market. It's a good organization, and we need more like it.
Whatever we're doing, we will be continuing to make hope happen for people on a one-person by one-person basis every day.
Our job is to repair the world, and that's tikkun olam. And if we are going to make the world a better place to live in, we will also be able to lift the Jewish community in the process. We are part of a bigger society, and the only way you can make it in that society is really to be part of the larger picture.
JEVS has looked at its strategies, looked at its mission, and say, how can we adapt to the world today? And continues to do that.
JEVS will be there, and JEVS will come up with a creative solution to help begin repairing the world that is perpetually in need of repair.